Yeah. Let's see. We got this here. Welcome, Think Breezy. Just starting up here. Should be good, hopefully. And today, let's remind ourselves, what are we looking at? AMD and Microsoft earnings. Last week we've done Visa, so today I want to do the same thing for these tickers. Basically look at how they're stacking up, how their earnings are, and where we can expect these things to go to, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at AMD. And let's go and turn on the extended trading hours here, first and foremost. I have some levels here for AMD on my chart already. I'm going to take this out. So this can go. And just as with Visa, right, we saw an earnings dump and then a good recovery during the regular trading hours, just the following couple of sessions. There's, of course, no guarantee, but, well, AMD is also bullish, in my opinion, regardless of what it's going to do here today. We've recently made a new important high, right? So same thing here, just without looking at any earnings. I would imagine that this thing is bullish and that we're on our way to above 200. But I'm actually going to go ahead and check out TrendSpider on Twitter because they come in with very early earnings updates. So you just go to Twitter. And I believe that, again, Mr. SLP would be joining in today. So we're still awaiting his arrival. He's a bit more the fundamentals guy, right? So let's see TrendSpider on Twitter, what they say. AMD earnings out in exactly 1 hour. So I guess that could still be coming in. Expected earnings per share, $0.77, and expected sales, 6.13 billion. And yeah, we'll probably see the results coming in here soon. Let's go to the 15 minutes and see what we're doing here after hours. So session, extended trading hours, that's fine. See, nothing is in yet about Microsoft. Let's see. There is Mr. Lee. I was just
you may want to turn me down in the free live stream.
You're already echoing for me. You're in here. Let's see.
It's gonna drive us cuckoo.
I already had shared the AMD chart, and I was going to TrendSpider to see if anything already came in, but it seems like we're still waiting for the results.
Yeah, I'll keep track and see if I can find some info.
I was just looking at TrendSpider. Let's see here, AMD on TradingView. Yeah, nothing yet. Are you bullish or bearish on these companies, brother, in the bigger picture?
Am I still echoing?
You're not echoing for me anymore, at least.
Oh, maybe not. I can hear myself.
Let's see. I did mute you, so I'm not sure. Let's see also, guys, what Microsoft is looking like after hours here. So
right-click on my name in the free live stream and just turn my volume down.
Yeah, I've done that. Your user volume is at 0 and you're muted, brother.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I sometimes have problems with Duck as well, who is echoing when I'm on stream with him, but I don't see what could cause it here.
Anyways, I see that Microsoft came in, revenue was a beat, and then EPS was a miss. But as for AMD, I'm not seeing anything new right now.
Looks like we're already getting a lot of movement here after hours for Microsoft. It's very, very similar to what Visa did. If you guys remember, they ran the local high and then went lower. So let's take a look where this could go to. Yeah, we're already close to the 400 level at this point. $399.92 might be something. Let's see.
It's a $17 move for Microsoft. That's the implied market move.
Are you on TrendSpider as well, looking at those things, or?
No, I look on Thinkorswim.
All right. That's an impressive 5-minute candle. I would imagine this goes lower, but maybe we see a little bit of a bounce up first to 406. All right. Let's see.
Let me get some numbers and put it in the chat.
I'll also share it here. I see EPS 2.93 versus 2.77 estimate for Microsoft, and the sales is also a beat. So they're delivering on their earnings, but the same thing was initially down. This is going to be an important level here, 406.5. Previous support.
So, okay, so the EPS came in better than expected, and revenue came in better than expected.
Yeah.
It's all about the guidance now, my friend.
And when is that following? Probably in an hour or so then.
Okay, so the conference is going to be maybe like 2 hours from now Eastern, because they're on the West Coast, right? So it's normally going to be a few hours from now that they have the live conference.
I mean, it's just like AMD. This is a stock that is broken into all-time high territory here. So I would imagine this could potentially go way, way higher, just like NVIDIA. It's going to be a matter of getting above 415, I would say, at this point, to really say this is bound to go up further. Let's see.
I think you can play a little scalp above 405.50 up to 409. Maybe you can get a little scalp in there. Little day trade.
Yeah, we do need to see a push, I would say, above 406.5, but yeah, that works as well. It's very much similar to Visa and a couple of other things like Intel that we saw last week, where the earnings are perfectly fine, but the initial reaction is down, and then during regular trading sessions, the days after, it ends up picking up again. I wouldn't see why this is any different then. Looking for Microsoft entry above 405.5, then aim for 409 and under 403. Add and aim down to 401 and under. So you guys can follow along in the chat what Lee is typing out.
Yeah, it's like echoing, bro. So I'm just gonna stay on mute for now.
Is it echoing for you, dude? Well, I can also mute if you want to go ahead and yeah. I'm so sorry, man. I'm not sure what's causing it.
No, maybe I'm gonna exit out and come back in.
Yeah. And now we're getting the trading view alerts, guys. Microsoft beats quarterly revenue estimates with the data that is put in the chat. Jay, you might need to remove your red line at 406. Ever since you've put it, it's stopped the price and can't go any higher. Yeah, it's It's as simple as looking at what was the support here to understand where it's probably going to have struggles going higher. Like with Visa, it was especially nice. That thing actually nuked down to some weekly levels, picked up, and it's very bullish. We went over Visa in the lifetime section and yesterday to follow up on the earnings and so on. Really have a bullish perspective on it. I would say here it's essentially a gamble after hours, and that's personally not what I'm looking to trade. Is a couple of dollar move on a $400 stock. I mean, if you're going to play the equity on something like this, it already requires some capital to get something out of it. But if you're doing options, I guess that could work. Let's see, reset above 405.5. We're hitting 405.5 as this candlestick. So let's see. And it's very, very quick to pick up and so on. So this is by no means my trading style, but let's see if we can sustain here above 405.5. I think if you get above 406.5, it's probably going to look good for a couple dollars more. Feels so bad that Lee is muted now due to me. Hopefully it's not due to me. Let's take a look at AMD on the other side of the equation here.
That's all right, man.
Let's see. AMD is at 170 after hours. And as far as I see, we don't have the numbers yet for this.
I think the Echorin's gone now. Yeah, it's gone.
Awesome,
I don't hear
dude.
myself anymore. Oh my God. When you hear yourself, you just don't want to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much in your ear.
100%, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like to listen to your own voice, at least for me, it's I know for many people it's like this. I find it hella annoying to listen to your own voice.
We got a nice pump there. So we got Microsoft above 407 now. So we got some profit on the table. You can trim your position, raise your stop, whatever you want to do, but just don't let yourself lose on that trade above that 405.50.
Yeah, the moment I absolutely agree with that, because the moment it comes back to 405.5, it's not necessarily short term something you want to hold on to. But that's nice, man. You said 405, then aim for 409. We're coming very close. We're within $1 of your first target already. So.
And we're on the 1 minute. If we're looking at 1 minute chart, guys, we got the MA 200. Like it's trying to break through that now. So that's why you want to be cautious with your position there and maybe take some profit. But we're at 408.50 now plus. So we're getting close.
I imagine this is going to hit your 409 in the next candle or two here.
As long as it holds above that, There we go, guys.
Very nice, very nice.
409, there we go, guys. We got to our target.
Nice.
Take that profit. That's a couple of bucks that you can use towards your dinner tonight. Exactly. So that was a nice little scalp. I mean, those numbers that we were just talking about, EPS and then revenue beat, of course, I mean, that's solid numbers. The only thing that's going to kill this kind of reversal now is the guidance that we get. The guidance that we get in the conference call. And it's so funny that they say that it's going to be in the conference call that the guidance happens. So it's going to run probably until then. And if it's bad guidance, it's just going to die right off. If it's good guidance, then we're just going to push higher, I think, into tomorrow. So we're up to 410 now, guys. 411.
That is awesome move, bro. That was a super good trigger you put there out in the chat. That's impressive stuff, man.
Absolutely.
I would say AMD below 169.5. If you're in for a scalp, you can take it to 168.5 and 167.4. I can also put that in the chat to do my part if it would set up. So AMD below 169.5 from here. Take it down to 168.5 and 167.4. Sorry, not 157, 167.4. And I think Quench doesn't want us to edit these messages, so 167.4, not 157.4. Just for a quick move on lower time frames. That is epic move on Microsoft. You're almost $10.
413 now.
Yeah, there's no stopping here. AMD is also picking up, I would say, above 173.1 here. Maybe you can look for a long scalp into like 175. Oh wow, there is your move on AMD. I mean, if you got triggered there and you're below 169.5, you're chilling right now, right? 164. So that is a huge move. So essentially, Lee got the up move there on Microsoft. There's your down move on AMD. Look at that, guys, all the way to 160. That is an impressive move, I would say, on AMD. That thing nuked to from 171.8 to 160.73 in just a couple of minutes here. Smash. I would imagine that something is coming out here for AMD as we speak. Let's take a look. AMD. I think Google also had its earnings or has its earnings today, and they were initially down. I know we're not really looking at those, but I could put the numbers in the chat as well if you guys want.
Yo, I just scalped AMD from 163 to 169.
I imagine because you were quiet, and I knew that was the goal. I mean, to be fair, the trigger to go short below 169.5, you're still chilling. Like, it's a very, very quick move. You got to be quick on your fingers with things like that. But the moment it got below that, it just... AMD reports fourth quarter and full 2023 financial year. Let's see.
I mean, I'm echoing again, so I have to be quiet again.
Oh man. Let's do an experiment here. I'm gonna mute for a second on StreamYard, and you go ahead and see if it's still mute. Echoes.
Sure. No, it's still there. I don't know why. Don't worry, I'll be quiet now. We got that scalp.
I think Lee is busy with his scalp on AMD. That's a very quick recovery there. Very very solid move. Let's see how much that was. I thought I saw Matt in here as well. What's up, Matt? Oh, he's gone already. For AMD, before touching, well, if you're not in any longs from in that wick, I would say you gotta wait at least until this thing gets back above 171.55. So that would be, let's draw a line. And if it can get back above that, I would say there's a good chance it runs higher. So maybe an idea here is, so that's the short side is, I guess, covered. Above 171.6, I think you can take a move up to that 173.1, and then you play it into the 175 level there, 175.5. That's what I would be looking at if I was a bull on this. Very weak here so far. And Microsoft, you guys got that nice move out of it. It's stalling down a little bit. Surprised not to see anything on AMD yet. Let's see. AMD earnings report just came out. Their earnings per share is 77 cents versus a 77-cent estimate. So that's right on there. And the sales are a little bit better. Well, a little bit better. And the sales are better than expected by around 100 million. I'll put that in the chat. Let's copy this.
AMD was pretty solid too.
Sorry. Yeah, I saw that someone already put those numbers in. Yeah, good. You beat me to it for AMD. You beat me to it. There we go. And there is AMD above that 171.6, right? The moment it gets above that level, it immediately shoots. There's your 173.1, and then the 175 is next. So it's the exact same thing as with what Lee said for his Microsoft play, right? The moment you get above that trigger, that 171.6, even happened too quickly to put it in the chat as well. But I mean, don't let that turn red on you if you are scalping this. There you go. There's the bigger move up. So there's your Microsoft move to the upside and your AMD move to both the up, to the down, and the upside. That is very solid. Everybody in the Discord on the YouTube knows that we said it before it happened, right? That's awesome. You're going to be kicking yourself, Mr. SLP, for AMD. You had the generational scalp there from 163. Awesome.
I basically grabbed 100 shares at 163 and sold 100 shares at 169. I'm happy with the $400 or $500.
Oh, absolutely.
But you're right. I may be kicking myself because I would have got another $1,000 if I held it.
We both know how much that would have been, bro. Maybe that's a solid move, but it's not about being perfect, right? You can't expect to be the bottom and then the top. Just if you're in the right direction, if you're not caught at the wrong side of the market, that's already very good. And I would imagine that AMD is going to push into that level that I've marked out there, 175.6. But that is anyways very, very solid the moment we got above 171.6. It's a $2-3 move there to exactly 175. So I guess once we clear 175, this is it's looking pretty decent. Let's see. So yeah, the recap is really that Microsoft beat on both equations, the EPS and the revenue, and AMD just beat on the revenue, but still good enough, right? Nothing is underperforming here in terms of numbers. Both companies are in all-time high territory, so really I'd be focused more so on the long side of the equation, especially from like the equity perspective for the days and weeks going forward. I think they're not done, both of them. Let's see. Hello guys, Salik Ali, welcome man, welcome to YouTube. And I guess this is an AMD and Microsoft stream, but let's maybe quickly take a look at Google, and there's that line hit for AMD, the 175.6. Let's take a look at Google for a second. They also came out with earnings and they have not recovered as well. What did they actually come in with? Google also beat on the EPS, also beat on the sales, but the price action here is a little bit less supportive. Still moving as well. Nice little rejection from that 175.6 there. Very low time frame for AMD. For Google, I would say got to get above 147.75 to go long with a very tight stop, and you're aiming for, well, 149.5 into the 150s again. But I would definitely hold off as long as this is below 147.77. If it comes down, it might bounce again there at 144.89, and if it goes lower, just let it run, and we'll see where it catches support tomorrow or so. So let's go to clearer background. Maybe we can do 3 charts next to each other. Google, AMD, and Microsoft. And this also just once again goes to show you that you got to be quick on your fingers with these things, because if you don't take your profits, again, the market will take it back from you very quickly. All kinds of up and downs here for Microsoft. The real resistance that I've also mentioned earlier in this stream that you got to get above is that 414.9. So 1 wick on there, and then the second time we didn't even make it there. For a bigger move, I would say into the 420s and so on, you got to get above 414.9. And AMD, it's the exact same thing, right? You don't get a lot of time to get in on the break of this and then take your profits there. But yeah, those are some very solid reactions.
I think my settings are a little bit off.
It probably has to do with your settings, indeed. Chipmaker AMD forecasts quarterly revenue below estimates. So I guess that's part of their guidance or whatever. Talking negative. Yeah. I mean, just from a scalping kind of perspective, that's already job done here for us, Lee. We both got some nice moves in.
All right. I'm not echoing right now.
Another attempt.
You got three on the screen. Yeah, I did see Google. Google's not reacting too well, but they did have good earnings.
Yep.
We played the right ones. AMD was great volatility there, and then obviously the Microsoft was a great right big push up from our entry. So we got AMD, a nice play up and down. Google, Microsoft up, and then kind of Google's just flat. Let's be honest. Look at that. It's not really moving.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. You really got to pick your battles, and as a scalper, you're looking for that volatility, and when you see that the momentum dies down, then it becomes more tricky. Especially if you're making some gains here after hours, make sure to quit trading when you're up. A lot of people, they have problems. That it's not a problem to be like up on a trading session, but then they'll continue trading until a point when they're no longer up. So you definitely want to take your piece of the pie and just move along, have a nice evening, come back tomorrow, and let's see where this opens. Like, I would very much advise against over trading these after hours earnings shenanigans. But yeah, as you said, Lee, very nice moves. Everything kind of following along and beating expectations for the most part. So
yeah, absolutely. We had some good moves. I'm trying to find the play that I got for AMD, but it won't let. I'm trying to find the realized gains, but I can't find it on my platform. But we had a good play there. That was like, I think it was like around $500 on that little play from 163 up to 170, close to 170. But yeah, it's coming back down a little bit now, AMD. So guys, I mean, they normally have earnings. Like if you want to listen to the conference calls, I believe it's going to be a few hours from now. If you look at AMD's, I'm sure it's East West Coast time, so it's probably going to be in a few hours. Same with Google, same with Microsoft. So the play is not really over yet, because I've said in a few more hours we're going to get a lot of volatility. So you may want to check back and forth. Maybe there's a scalp that we can play there as well. But as for this call, like, you know, me and Jay, we're not going to be here until the earnings call, unfortunately. So you know, just look out for that.
Yeah, And anyways, tomorrow these things are probably going to gap up or down. So that's going to leave us with more information to play with also for the regular trading sessions going forward. We'll have a gap to play back into. So just take it lightly with these scalps. And like when we say lightly, I mean, Lee, you said, yeah, that's a quick $500, but let's be honest, for you, that's treading lightly, right? It's not that you're going in with
it's like when I go to buy
yeah.
shares, you have like a set amount of shares you want to buy, and mine's pretty low already for a reason, and I was just in and out, right? So bought 100 shares, sold 100 shares, and on the green candle on the reversal, and that was it. But yeah, no more than that, guys. I mean, you gotta know your risk and what you're willing to put into a scalp, and it's going to be a small position.
Because at the moment that you press your button, there's no guarantee that actually zaps back up for, like, you can just get another just straight down candle afterwards. And if your
finger's got to be on the buttons, you got to be on the clickers, ready to buy, sell, and that's what a scalp is, right? We're buying and selling in seconds. It's not even minutes, it's seconds.
There's Google getting above that 147.77. Let's see if it can continue here. That's at least a little bit of a positive sign that it can run back. Well, maybe not all the way to the 150s, but still, that's a very big candle. So if we just take a fib from the top of that candle to the bottom of that particular candle, let's see, right? Let's see where our 0.5% retracement comes in. Let's see where our 25% retracement comes in, and then our 75% retracement, just to have an idea of what is very likely going to be a level of resistance. There is 149.8, so slightly below 150. And if we get back below, I would say 146.75, this is actually more likely to come back down and hit that low again. So yeah. AMD and Microsoft, I would agree that the plays are not completely over yet, but on the other side, like, I mean, they already did play out, right? So now you're probably going to see some back and forward without a real bigger move up or down, because that bigger move down and that bigger move up already happened. And so what's happening right now is people have taken all kinds of positions, long, short, and they're probably not going to run far. They're probably going to be sweaty. So
they're going to be sweaty all the way to 8 p.m.
Absolutely, dude. I can tell you already, just by looking at this price action, you understand that people have short at the bottom, long to top, and they're going to be caught in some back and forward here for probably a couple of hours. I can be wrong, but I wouldn't imagine that we get straight above that high or below that low here anytime very soon. And the same applies for Microsoft, in my opinion. So you get that original, lots of volatility, but really a bigger move is only if you get above 415 or back below 401 here.
And your lines are perfect, bro. Like, you put the lines here with the fib retracements. I mean, they match up perfectly. And I mean, if you guys just kind of pre-plan that and put some lines on the chart, it could really help you playing in either direction. Just a few simple lines.
I'm drinking an energy drink to take breezy, no Starbucks. But I think Starbucks, the reason why you say Starbucks is because probably they are also coming out with some earnings today, right? We went over, let's see on TrendSpider if that says anything.
Ooh, $98 is up 4%. Nice.
Yeah, can take a look at that in a bit. Very quick moves. Let's take a look at Starbucks for a moment here. As bucks. Oh, that's kind of the opposite of Google, right? That looks very positive. Let's see, earnings. Their earnings are actually not a beat. So that just goes to show you how you cannot just rely on, okay, the earnings beat expectations long or vice versa short, because from what I see here on Starbucks, they've reported 0.9 earnings per share and it was estimated higher, 0.931. And also their revenue isn't as high as it was estimated, but still, regardless, the chart is up, right? And this is something that many guys know, that I'm the technicals guy and not the fundamentals guy. And that's why I like to make fun of these things sometimes a little bit. Like it's not reliable. And you got to also think about it to yourself, right? If it was just as easy as longing good earnings, quote unquote, and shorting bad ones, right? Everybody would be making money all the time on all the earnings, but that's not how this market works, right? So let's take a look at Starbucks here on the 15 minutes, even on a 5-minute time frame. I mean, this is looking good for higher, especially if you get above that $100 level. That's going to be a very big psychological level. The moment you get above that, that would start to look really good. What do you think about Starbucks, Lee? Just in general, also, you like this company?
Yeah, I actually do. I mean, around where I am at, they're growing, still growing, like still building new stores like everywhere again. And I think there is some growth potential there. I would have to look at their fundamentals a little bit more. But like you say, they missed on revenue by 230 million. They missed on EPS. So they missed on everything, but it's now ripping. And then you got these Microsoft, AMD, everything just beat everything and now dropping. So it's so funny to see this kind of reaction, right? But I think Starbucks, if you just like zoom out on the chart of Starbucks, let me have a look real quick.
For a second.
I honestly think that if it can hold, like if it can push over $100, well, it's already broken out of this area. If it pushes above 100 and holds, I think we have some room to get to like 103 to like 108 next. Well, 103 to 107. Kind of retest that peak that we last saw back in November of last year. So I think we can probably move up there towards that peak if we can, like you say, push over $100 again. Otherwise, we get rejection and come back down. But pretty much, I mean, on the daily chart, there's also that. Yeah, well, that gap was already filled, so there's no gaps there. So yeah, like you say, above $100, I like it to continue. Below that, I'm not gonna jump into it.
Same here, because they're up after their earnings, even though their earnings aren't good. But that doesn't mean that now is a good time to essentially buy this, right? Just StocksBuddy itself, just putting this on the daily, also suggests a bullish thesis so far. So for sure, this can go higher, but I also think $100 is a key level to get above, and there's still plenty of upside if you do break that.
I think so. Honestly, think so. I think Tick Breezy, you found a good one. I don't know if you could jump into it or whatnot, but it definitely looks better out of all the after hours. Like after they had this initial pushback up, it definitely looks better than the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other ones, they've already ran into an all-time high territory, right? Starbucks is not at all-time high, so they might have a little bit of an easier time moving up. Google looking pretty bearish here. Same thing for AMD, actually. That's absolutely no acceptance for AMD above 175.6, that level that we've marked out here. I mean, that's going to be a level also going forward tomorrow during regular trading session or whatever, the day after, or at any point in time, you will know that 175, 175.6 is an important level of resistance. And if you're patient with it, you don't have to go ahead and catch bottoms. You can just make notes of these stickers about where they're likely going to be bullish again. So at some point in time, this gets above 175 again. There's still plenty of upside to take there. I wouldn't be pressing any more buttons on this.
Now, if I was strictly look at valuation and like at current price to PE ratio and stuff like that, I definitely like Starbucks PE. That basically means price to earning ratio is low. It's at 26. Their forward PE is at 22. So suggesting that it's at, it's pretty much at undervalued, or it's a good deal at these kind of levels that it's at right now. So I do like Starbucks. It has probably more potential to just kind of grind its way up. If we get some upgrades overnight with analysts, then it's just going to continue to push up tomorrow and the next couple of days if we get upgrades, say, because upgrades are just going to push the stock higher. Also, they have a good dividend yield as well that you can get a good payout quarterly on that. Is 2.4%. So I do like it's more attractive Starbucks, say, over AMD, which I did share AMD in our Discord earlier. The AMD's PE ratio, I know that they're in that AI phase and it could be a continuation, big boom, whatever, like NVIDIA. But they're basically saying it's super overpriced. The PE is at 1,500. The forward PE is over 50. That's basically saying it's just overvalued at this current level. And that I would expect some pullback and then, maybe get a good pullback to then enter long again. That's me as a trader. I'm not going to jump into this at this level, knowing that these ratios are super high and basically implying that it's overpriced, overvalued at this current level. So you won't see me as a swing trader jump into AMD at this level. But Starbucks looks more attractive.
It's the exact same thing for the MU thing as well. This is a swing that I've put out, $20 lower. I still think this has potential to go higher, right? And I'm bullish on it, but it's by no means the same good entry indeed on a swing buying at these levels. But they are definitely, at least in my book, companies that if you like them now, you should like them more if they are trading $20, $30 lower, right? So that's probably many people are going to lose interest in these things once you see a couple of down days or weeks. And same exact companies at lower prices, and people will have more trouble liking that. So for some reason, people always like to buy high, but AMD is something that I'm not holding that myself in my own portfolio yet.
No,
because I'm exposed to MU, but I'm very much willing to buy discounts on it if it can give a good retracement indeed. But that is not going to be, just a $2 move down here. No, we're talking about, I want a $20 discount on
like
shares.
20 or more. I want it back down to the levels when we hit that low of in the 70s. I think now in the 50s, it came all the way down to $50 when we were in that bearish market. Down there. Yeah, that would bring it down there, or bring it to close to 100, then I will look at it. I give it a little look about $100.
I think I'm going to be way more aggressive than it.
Yeah, 130. Huh?
I think I would be looking at this little blip here, this little volume imbalance, this wicks here. It's you look from where the candle closes to where this one opened. That's an area where I'll be interested, but then absolutely agree. If that is not going to hold, you're looking at 100 again. This is how the market works, right? People see 170 and they think this is impossible that this will come back down. And then when it does come back down, they're not prepared for it, and then they won't see it as opportunity. But absolutely agree, man. Low 100s for AMD on a good pullback when the sentiment is in the floor and nobody is comfortable buying it. Yeah, that's a good entry, potentially, right? Without any guarantees, of course.
Yeah, I'm going off a Tick Breezy in the Discord. He goes, my wife should own 10% of Starbucks on her own. That's pretty funny because it's true though. It's they just know how to market. They know how to market so really well, man. And now they added a new add-on now. On weekends you get BOGO coffee. So you get a coffee, buy one, get one. So everyone's flocking to Starbucks on the weekends. Then they're like, oh, this coffee's so addicting. Let me go here for the weekdays as well and pay full price. So it's all about marketing, and Starbucks are fantastic at marketing.
Yeah. They really do a good job. Even if you have a coffee machine at your house, you're still maybe to go to the city and get a Starbucks, right? Just because it's more fun than just pressing your own coffee machine.
I do. Sometimes I get lazy and I just go down the street, but there's one being built around the corner on my left, and then there's one on the right, and then there's one in the front. So it's like I'm trapped anyways around Starbucks. Why not just go to one? But yeah, when I get a little bit behind with the kids or whatever, I just jump to Starbucks. It's just easy. But look,
Looks like
let's see
they're
what's going
stalling
on here.
out here.
AMD, nice bounce off that 161. What was that, 167?
167.35, yeah. Well,
Came down on
went
166.
a little bit lower. Let's see. I'm not offers going down and then up and then down again and then a little bit up. It's exactly what I've essentially said, right? People got caught in shorting the bottom and longing the top, breakout trading, and now the market is very likely to keep them, as I said, sweaty for a while and really a test of patience. Like I said, I don't expect this thing here in the next hour or so, or even a couple of hours, to break above any highs or lows.
So, someone jumped into the play now, and it's just like you say, like they just closed their eyes basically and jumped into the play. They're like, well, guys, I got to scratch off my whole evening's plans because I have to sit here and watch the chart for 3 hours to
It's
either make some money or take my small loss. I don't know, but guess what? All the plans are canceled for the evening.
And we both know how it ends after like 3 hours. It's like lots of hopium, and then oh no, and then yes, and then after 3 hours, eventually you stop out.
I've done it before.
Yeah,
I catch myself doing it though. Like I catch
Yeah.
myself, and I'm like, damn, I don't really want to look at my phone. But then I'm in a position where, damn, I have to look at my phone for the next 3 hours. And kind of ruins my evening. So I try to keep away from the after hours unless it's like a quick scalp and I get in and get out. That's it. But like I've done it. I've done it multiple times where it's just like till 8 o'clock,
Yeah, same here. How is it possible that I can tell you these things? Well, maybe from personal experience, right? I've gotten in similar situations more than enough to understand that this is probably going to chop around, and you're well off not in a position, or again, you got to be very quick on your fingers with these after-hour scalps.
Yeah, like when we're done with this stream, man, I'm getting off. I'm turning off my phone. I'm not looking. I'm not looking at a chart to try to scalp. I just don't need that for the evening. I'm just gonna log myself out, change my password so I don't remember it, and then just go away for the evening.
And then by tomorrow, you have to go ahead and reset your password again.
Yeah, reset my password, and I'd say, do I really want to trade for the day? And I have to, just slap myself and say, is there good trades? If there is, I reset my password. Let me see. AMD, man. But AMD, I'm going to watch AMD. I like AMD better than all the rest to play.
I like how you said when I'm getting off the stream, it's like it's over, I'm done, and then just 2 seconds later, I'm gonna watch AMD. Yeah, do that. You're gonna talk yourself into getting into a play, my friend.
That Tick Breezy giving me that Black Rifle coffee. It's like like gas. It's that petrol. It's just fuel. And he just passed me a cup of coffee from his house, and I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go again.
Jack says, good stuff, guys. Thanks. More than welcome, man. Good to see you, but he's looks like he jumped off. Awesome.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for coming. Exactly. And if you want the full experience, of course, then you need to come hang out during the regular trading hours when everybody can take their positions and when we have setups developing every single day. Not just quick after hours, jump on a stream. We can take our time with this over the next few days and weeks as well with these exact companies.
Yeah,
I'm going to be looking at.
It's going to be much easier to play with the volume anyways during market hours, guys. So definitely come join us for sure. Oh no, but Tesla's falling off a cliff right now too.
I think I've made a post about that in the analyst ideas. This is one that, that 181, and I see some people in here, I'm sure that they've seen me talk about Tesla, but it's recently bounced from a level that I had put in the analyst ideas way before we got there again, like 181.95. That is going to be key support here for Tesla. If that falls out, I think this is going lower. I'm not permanently bullish on Tesla. I think this has a good chance of actually running back into the 150s. But before doing anything, right, don't after our shorts or anything here. That's not optimal. But I would urge a lot of caution here with Tesla. It has to get for me above 217.65 to even consider the possibility that it is bullish, really. So anything, even a retracement up to 200 or whatever, to me it's bearish. Anything below, let's say 218, is bearish as it can be, and I would be expecting that we're going to find it in the 150s.
I agree.
And that is also, of course, not good news even for things like Lucid and Neo, because yes, it's
it all comes down.
Some Chinese companies and this and that, but at the end of the day, Tesla is going to be a market mover. And if this sheds 30 points, $30, those companies are going to have a very, very difficult time reversing or anything. So
they're going to follow the whole EV market follows, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's and sometimes, not every day is perfectly correlated. Maybe someday you will see Tesla down and some, like maybe Lucid has a green day. But in the bigger picture, they're very likely going to follow that cliff. So I have nothing against these smaller EV companies, but just looking at Tesla, I am not, as a swing trader, I'm not interested to be taking positions long on the EV sector right now. I want it from lower or from higher, but not from here. That's for sure. But let's go back to maybe Microsoft and see where we're at. All the way back to 403. So we've said it so many times with being quick on your fingers. If you take that entry there, 405.5, I believe you said, Lee, gives such a beautiful move all the way back up to 414. Now, if you just log off and you're like, yep, this is good, like we got the bullish play, let's just log off. Tomorrow we're going to be higher. Well, right, the market takes it from you immediately if you become complacent. And that 401 is still holding as support. So I had my line here at 401 2 candles ago, like 10 minutes ago, we came to 401.08. I mean, it can bounce up here, but I would imagine this is going to see sub 400. Just looking at this from this perspective, right? I think this is going to see sub 400. To me, a bigger up move, I'll repeat it, only above 415. That is important resistance to break. Then there's still plenty of upside potential. AMD falling from that cliff again. Google looking bearish. So yeah.
I mean, this is the problem we're gonna find. Like that, it could be a great ingredients that we're getting with these earnings, right? So we're getting like future guidance, or and we're getting revenue, and we're getting all this information coming this week. And it's the big boys. We got Amazon, we got Apple, we got AMD, Microsoft, Google, all of them. And if they all start falling off a cliff, the market will then roll over. And then we're going to start pulling back in the market. And then on top of that, Fed Powell, if he says, hey, guys, we don't want to cut rates anytime soon. We said we would, but we're not telling you when yet. Then the market's going to roll over. And this week could be a good area to potentially add in short on the overall market. So that's why my eyes are peeled for this week, just to see if I can, if we can dissect all this information and maybe get a short position in the overall market. And it's going to happen this week. If it happens, it's going to be this week that you're going to get a good entry.
I like that. You're very right. If these companies fall off a cliff, that is going to immediately show in your Qs, that is going to immediately show on the SPY, that is going to probably correlate with the dollar going higher, and that's probably even going to be bearish for crypto. So even as a crypto trader, right, all of these things, they have relevance because it tells me something about the bigger market sentiment, right? As much as we can like it or not, the stock market is relevant, and it is correlated with crypto. So these companies, they have market capitalizations that is bigger than the crypto market cap. If they struggle and if they go down, typically crypto will also have a difficult time going up, because it's just an indicator about your risk on or risk off sentiment, which could jump into a little bit more risk off, right?
I think so. I really do. And it really depends on the follow through. Like, I don't really look at the after hour action to kind of say, well, yeah, we're going to come down. I'd rather see tomorrow and see if it just follow through. If it does, then yeah, I will take a short. I mean, the markets will come down. But we got big boys, and we got Fed Powell, the big boy himself, going to be speaking tomorrow. So join us for that. We're going to have a stream in our Discord for that as well. So join us for Fed Powell, that interest rate information, 2 p.m. and 2:30 is the conference.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be a wild day. Lastly, I would say, just because we are talking about being conservative and that everything could come down, doesn't mean that it will absolutely do that. Just go back, look at the earnings from Visa that were these three big, huge red candles, and at that point in time, at those low 260s, that doesn't feel short-term bullish. But in regular trading hours, just in a couple of sessions, we're now making new all-time highs. And not to say that AMD and Microsoft are going to do the same thing, but just something to be aware of, right? Don't get juked out too quickly. Don't be too quickly in taking any positions. We'll be taking it on confirmation. I think for sure we're going to need to see what Powell says or does tomorrow to have a good grip on the market. So many times it goes down and then he starts speaking and it rips the other side, or just the other way around, right?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely, it does. And that's why you have to basically, you get the interest rate information at 2 p.m., then we see it direction. And then after he starts speaking, it normally reverses into the other direction. That's normally like 98% of the time. That's what happens. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen, but that's the suggested move that happens with Fed meetings. So that's what you see. You see your initial trend, and then when he starts speaking, you normally see the opposite. But yeah, I have to pop off now, Jay. I don't know if you're staying here much longer, but I'm going to jump off. People just showed up at my door.
My idea was just to do a 1-hour stream here to go over the earnings. We'll put the relevant information in the chat. Thanks a lot, Lee, for joining.
Thank you.
For sharing with us.
Thank you, guys.
That Microsoft move. And I'm going to be jumping off as well, guys. We'll be posting this in the premium section, the recording, and we'll speak to you all tomorrow. Have a very good
guys.
evening.
Have a good evening.
Bye, Nikki. Bye, Gio, Callboy, Stussy,
guys.
Whiteman, Yo-Yo, everyone. Bye, Breckle. See you guys.